This is the Fallout from Dishonor podcast. It is almost 3 a.m. on Tuesday. So here a few hours ago, I just got done watching Raw, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into WWE Day One, but before we get into that shit, I have one or two news items I want to get into. Jesus. I don't even know how to begin talking about this. So if you're a wrestling fan on any level, you're pretty aware probably of what's been going on with Tony Khan and Big Swole. But if you're not, back on November 30th, Big Swole announced that she and AEW had mutually parted ways. There have been some conflicting developments. Here on December 31st, Fightful reported Big Swole was talking on her podcast. Now, I haven't listened to the podcast, so I can't give you an exact representation of what my thoughts are going to be, obviously. I do intend on listening to it later this week and probably do a little bit of rehash the next time I talk to you guys. Before I keep going, though, I do want to state that I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes at AEW. I don't know what Tony Khan's agendas or motivations for the decisions he makes booking-wise are. That all said, based on the summaries that I have read, Big Swole has led people to believe that the decision was mutually agreed upon. And then Big Swole made some comments on her podcast that took AEW's, I guess, diversity into question. Tony Khan was pretty fast to shoot back, and I quote, "The top two AEW executives are Brown, me and Megan. Jade, Brown's Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, Marquin, all won on TV this month. The TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. Hashtag lotta. Later that day, Leo Rush got on Twitter and, you know what? I don't even really want to read this. Leo Rush has obviously got some issues with Tony Khan. There is a big, long statement here that I don't even really particularly want to read. This is... Okay, Big Swole did respond with this over the weekend. It's Sunday. Take time to actually listen to the podcast instead of reading headlines and excerpts. Understand diversity isn't just a statistic. Counting us, POC isn't the mindset, she writes. Not one time did I ever mention anyone as racist. Now again, I am going to take this tweet to heart. I am going to actually listen to the podcast before I comment too much on what people are saying about Big Swole. Now, Tony Khan's already kind of put his foot in his mouth as far as this issue goes. I don't have the tweet sitting in front of me, but I'm fairly certain that when she first left, he had stated that it wasn't her wrestling that was the issue, and now he's coming out and saying that it is. Whether you think Big Swole is not very good in the ring, or whether she's the greatest wrestler, or somewhere in between, that's not really the point. Tony Khan needs to log off his Twitter on whatever the hell device he's got it at the ready at. If Khan had just ignored this, waited until one of the media scrums, or for him to be interviewed on Busted Open, he could have had a really well thought out response to this. Instead, this happened, and regardless of any facts, he looks like a complete jackass. At this point, the best thing for him to do would be to put out some type of PR-laced type statement apologizing and wait for this shit to die down. Again, I definitely didn't think Big Swole was the best wrestler by any stretch of the imaginations, but this is just stupid and childish. I don't even really want to talk about this anymore. This is fucking stupid. So I'm assuming that all you guys have heard about what's been going on with Toni Storm. Reported first by Fightful, and then a little bit more details with Dave Meltzer. The reason is said to be not budget cuts. Sean Ross Sapp has reported that it appears that she has asked for this. Meltzer cited burnout. There's been a few rumors, but it appears that she was at a house show, did the match that she was supposed to do, and then bought a plane ticket on her own dime, and then went home. And that's pretty much what we know. Anything else that I've read appears to just be rumors, so it's speculatory at this point. But it does actually appear that she was granted her release, whether she was actually asked for it or whether she did this and then WWE just fired her for it. I don't really know, but I will keep you guys updated as I know more about this. A couple little notes here. The Prestige Wrestling show that I'm going to be going to, per their Twitter, Roseland show notes. On February 20th, we will crown the first ever Prestige Wrestling Tag Team Champions. The teams in the match will remain a mystery until the night of the event and will be chosen by guest GM Danhausen. They're also addressing a situation with their world title and the future of Filthy Tom Lawyer. I don't have the inside scoop as far as all of this goes. I looked at his Twitter a little bit. He's been retweeting a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling, so maybe he signed there. I'm not really sure. The Indies, a little bit harder to get a grasp on. Not everything is leaking out of the ass as far as what happens with WWE and AEW. So, WWE Day One. I had no recap on Saturday after watching the show and not having seen the one or two matches that I had been waiting for, that being Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, which obviously didn't happen. Roman Reigns came out and said he had COVID. And this one was never booked, but I assumed we were going to get Charlotte versus Toni Storm. I kind of covered what the hell happened with that a little earlier. So, again, Roman announced that he had COVID on Twitter the day of. I was not really made aware of this until the pre-show had started. And to top everything else off, I don't have the quotes in front of me, but apparently WWE isn't doing COVID testing anymore. So, yeah, fuck my life. Run down the card a little bit. Cards and winners. So the kickoff show had Cesaro and Ricochet versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Sheamus and Ridge Holland took that one. Edge versus The Miz. Edge got that one with the whole Maurice was out there and Beth Phoenix coming out and then standing awkwardly waiting for her music to play before she walked further down the ramp. It was kind of strange. Drew McIntyre, Madcap Moss, Drew won. Raw Tag Team Championships. RK Bro retained over the Street Profits. New Day versus the Usos. Usos took the W, which I had in my predictions. I had called because fucking Christ, people. The Usos have lost for months. They were in need of a win. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. This match I really, really wanted to like. I really did. And there was something off about them that night. I don't know what it was. It wasn't as terrible as some one or two of the other things on the show, but this was not. They were just off. I don't know. The last match they had was better, in my opinion. And then obviously the what appeared to be a botch ending with Becky Lynch trying to get her feet on the ropes and then failing miserably. And then the, how can I put this? The thrown together at the last minute main event. Well, not really thrown together. The Fatal 4-Way turned into the 5-way. Biggie, Lesnar, Owens, Lashley, and Seth Rollins. Lesnar took the W. If we're being honest with this pay-per-view, I kind of did what I did with Raw, although with Raw it was much more severe. I would say I watched more of the pay-per-view than I didn't. With Raw, I pulled my Xbox 360 out of the closet that's been needed cleaning for over a year now. I've got pictures of that on Twitter, and I definitely did more of that than I did with this show. The first 15 minutes or so were probably the best part of the show. Heyman has apparently joined back with Lesnar because I don't know. Something a little confusing about this. The piped in crowd noise has this show showed it the most as far as a lot of the shows lately. This one was up there. How the fuck can I put this? Visually, the crowd seemed to be sitting on their hands, but for whatever reason, they were making a shitload of noise. There was boos and cheers and boos and cheers and boos and cheers throughout this entire segment. It was really strange the way, even by piped-in crowd noise standards, this was weird. And you got to keep in mind that when I watch these WWE shows, they start a lot earlier on the East Coast for you guys. So WWE, in theory, while they haven't really had time to go everything with a fine-tooth comb, you would think that if there was anything that needed to be edited out, that the version that we would get would be a little bit more fine-tuned than the one that was done live. But this was really strange. Other stuff, Liv, Bianca, and Becky had a segment. Based on this alone, everyone's, I'm going to take some shit for this. I know there's a lot of Liv Morgan fans out there. I've even got a friend that's a big Liv Morgan fan. But based on this segment alone, she doesn't deserve the title, nor does she deserve a rematch. None of this was good. Becky was even meh to me in this segment. Ripley and Nikki Ash lost and furthered that issue. There was the main event. Lashley won it, and we're going to be getting Brock versus Lashley. Apparently, this match is so important that Brock brought up that he'll be on SmackDown this Friday. I am looking forward to that. That will be good. And the match at the Royal Rumble, the one between Brock and Lashley, not the mixed tag match. I am looking forward to that. Obviously, I'm looking forward to both Rumbles. They blew off the whole AJ and Almost thing. That was a mistake. My issue with that is that I was thinking, and I discussed this a few months ago, that what WWE should do is, what WWE should have done was take AJ and Almost and stretch this program out for months, and that way you'd have AJ kind of being able to hold Almost's hand and teach him. It kind of appears that they just kind of shotgunned this whole situation and then just blew it off on a random Raw. Maybe we'll get some interaction at the Royal Rumble between these two in the match. I don't know. AJ Styles is looking like his immediate future is in NXT, so I don't know what the hell's going on. This is a mistake. You are taking Almost and you are putting him out to sink, in my opinion. The Edge, Beth Phoenix stuff, basically showing up and having booked themselves with The Miz and Maurice, so we've got that to look forward to. Sorry if I don't seem super enthused about this. The Tony Khan situation's kind of pissed me off. Like I said, he just looks like a jackass, and I had to watch Raw. I watched Day One. I wasn't super happy about either one. To be perfectly honest, it was about as much enthusiasm as I've got in my voice right now is about how great both shows were. So, God, see, okay, I had complained and had brought up that I didn't want to talk about day one because it was stupid. And my review would have been short and just complaining. And here I am staring at my timestamp, and I'm at about 16 minutes. And I have ran through my notes because this is all I have the energy for. So that'll do it, guys. I don't know what the hell to tell you. I got Twitter, I got Facebook, I got all that shit. Go look at it, subscribe. My next episode will hopefully have. We've got AEW coming up with the culmination of the TBS title tournament, so that should be a lot better. That'll put me in a lot better mood. Rampage on Friday will have Sammy Guevara getting a rematch, I believe, for the TNT title. That'll be interesting. I don't see them taking the title off of Cody. We'll see. That's going to do it. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.